into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey, Grimsters and Gremlins! Welcome back to AFTERBUZZ TV's Grimm After Show. I'm your host, Zach Wilson, and we are going to be talking about the episode El Chupacabra.
Chupacabra!
And joining me, my fantastic panel. We're all back. Woohoo! Thank you for coming back this week.
Hey,
Dillon Chance.
Hey.
And the lovely Yael Tygiel.
Hey everybody, I'm lovely.
Let's open up
Yeah.
with our quote.
Ooh.
I got a challenge
Oh, yeah.
this week.
Oh, good luck.
Cuide su rebaño. Nunca deje su lado. Cuide su sangre. El chupacabra tiene hambre.
Yeah.
That was good. That was
Which
really
roughly translated is
Uh-huh.
take care of your flock. Never leave their side. Watch your blood, for the chupacabra is hungry.
Did you take that, type it into like translator?
Oh, somebody else did the work for me
Oh,
on the
good.
Grimm Wiki.
Wow.
Awesome. Thank you, whoever writes the Grimm Wiki.
You kind of sounded like you were in a Mexican soap opera. Just then. I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't we? But guys, I was really excited for this week's episode because this is another awesome, just urban legend
Yeah.
that we get to just dive into the Grimm version of.
Yeah.
We've all heard at least the name El Chupacabra.
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 They've used it on all kinds of TV shows, movies. It's a Mexican folklore. It is Mexican folklore. The legend of an animal who I guess mostly just goes around killing sheep and goats. They call it the goat sucker.
Yeah.
This is how they translate as we went into this episode.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the Chupacabra?
I like that again. We have another vessin that is not an actual vessin. It is either like a disease of
Yeah,
a
it's like a
vessin
disease.
or
It's nice.
it reminds me a lot of last week's Little Gremlins.
Yeah. When they do that.
Yeah, like this is what happens when you go through puberty, and this is what happens when you get stung by or whatever.
That it's not just about, oh, well, these people are monsters and they're dangerous. Now it's great because we've established this point in the world that they are not all evil.
Right.
Most of them are just regular people trying to live their lives.
Yeah.
And this one is just, these are regular, very, very good people in this
Right.
case who got sick. And when you're sick and you have a monster living inside you, it kind of makes that monster real dangerous.
Right. It's kind of like the same thing when like normal people have like really bad mental health problems. They can't do anything about it. It's not their fault.
Yeah. And I just want to say that whatever they were originally,
Coyotes.
yes,
Coyotes.
the wife was so adorable. She was just so cute. I was like, oh, I want to snuggle. So cute. That's what I said.
Her Vogue state?
Yeah.
Because of those big eyes.
The big eyes and the fluffiness. I was so excited.
I mean, we all have those vessels that we just want to snuggle up to.
Oh, yeah? What's yours, Zach?
Oh, I think we know what his
I think you know.
I think I just want you to say it.
Remember how
I mean,
much-
Rosalee.
Yeah.
Fuchsbout. I'm not shy about it on this
Remember
program.
how much he was blushing when
She was here, yeah.
Well, they had to turn the redness of the camera down so that I didn't look like a tomato.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I just wanted that noted.
I like to snuggle an Oshwang.
That's weird.
If Yael tells you something is weird, it's very weird.
Very weird.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a joke. I would
I mean,
never.
Oswangs are just regular people. Maybe they're just a misunderstood Oswang.
Yeah, like that little granny. She
the
seemed
little
nice.
granny that strangled people in their sleep. Anyway,
I love this show.
we opened up with where we got to meet this guy. I didn't know where we were at first. I don't think they really established until later on in the episode. They were in the
Yeah.
Dominican.
Right.
But they were effectively doing like a Doctors Without Borders kind of thing. Down like just they're saving people. These are two doctors going overseas to save people. And then he comes back sick because when you work overseas, when you're working with a lot of sick people, you're going to get some contagious stuff. You know what it probably is that somebody was a carrier of it, but they're not Vesson, so he would never have noticed because the symptoms weren't showing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It makes sense because the Chupacabra legend is mainly in Mexico, although I'm sure different versions of it have traveled all over. And Dominican, not like the Dominican Republic is so far removed from Mexico, but it makes sense. And so he comes back sick and basically turns into a feral dog at night.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about the whole? We already talked a little bit about the disease thing, but this whole storyline in general. Did you enjoy it? I mean, it's fairly one-off.
Yeah, it was an interesting story. I think what excited me more about it was how Wu got so involved in it.
Yeah.
I think it was a here's the story of the week,
And that's the key piece of like why they chose to put the Chupacabra into this story, because it was a type of Vesson or a Vogue state that Wu could absolutely see without it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna show you my Vogue, I'm gonna like show you who I am or anything forced. This was a guy out of control, and Wu just happened to be in the area because of the attacks, and he saw a dog man running through the streets.
Although they could have played that off the week before too, on the Christmas episode with the little goblin guys, because everyone could see those. Hank was like, "Oh yeah, I can see those." Remember?
Yeah,
it's true.
So either way, they could have played those off, but it did work for that, and it did work for a end episode, just because they solved it and it's over, and we don't have to worry about it coming back or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Also, you don't want Wu pointing a gun at a bunch of kids.
Yeah, that's true.
That would make it way darker.
We don't want Wu to point his gun at those kids?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we don't.
I did. I know I wasn't here last week, but I did like when they said that one Grimm used to go around chopping their heads off, and then he found out they were kids.
Yeah.
That's like, well, that's sick.
It's like, oh God, I've been just killing children left and right.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be doing that. But let's talk about Wu's Clues.
Wu's Clues.
Oh man, we need to make an audio song.
A sound, Clues. A drop. Wu's Clues. Yeah.
Wu's Clues.
I like it.
We got, as Yael would put it, more sassy Wu.
Sassy Wu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do I sound a little stressed? Doesn't matter. He's so pissed at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what to do with him at this. I know hopefully we're getting now he's been told.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
sort of, kind of.
I mean, before
while
that,
he was going crazy.
Yeah, before that, even he takes his Wu's Clues folder to Sean, and he's like, "Let me show you my Wu's Clues." And here are the two things that happen in this scene. One, Sean was like, "I don't have time for your BS, Wu. I don't give a F." But also, Wu, he asked all the questions that I have been harping on this whole season. Like, how has no one noticed that they don't really solve these crimes? How has no one noticed that, he lets everybody go and that they're, unsolved, whatever, move on. This is weird. I'm so glad that he asked those questions for me. It was great.
Yeah. Again, it's those tiny plot holes that any kind of supernatural show is going to have a little bit of.
Right.
But this is not that nobody noticed. Yeah. Wu noticed.
Yeah, Wu
Which
noticed.
I appreciate, because usually they're like, we're just going to ignore this and brush it under a rug.
They're pretty good about coming back 4 or 5 episodes later and answering all the questions that we had.
Yeah.
Which I like.
This show is so great.
Props to the script coordinator for keeping track of all of the loose ends.
Guys, remember when we let these people go free? You want to explain that? Okay. I'll let you figure it out.
He just goes through all these cases case closed. Mm-hmm. Case closed. Case closed.
Yeah.
Free. No charges.
Right. We just ignored that this happened. Yeah.
But I guess there's only so much you can do. But to at least acknowledge it is a good service to the fans who are keeping track of all of this and are questioning these little details.
I don't even want answers. I appreciate that we've said that it's just not being ignored.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really care. I just like that he's like, hey, I noticed. Please make effort. That's all. That's all I
It
wanted.
is just like playing into the Woo's Clues thing that he comes in with a folder, though.
Woo's Clue. Woo's Clue. Woo's Clue.
Notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess the big question is, what happens to Woo now? Like, we see him at the end of the episode, and he's just like he almost shot the guy because he's freaked out. He just saw how dangerous this guy is. He doesn't understand how, like, out of his control it is, like, all of that. So Nick has to stop him from just straight up shooting him.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he got shot
He got shot like 5 minutes later.
but
But the thing is, Wu fires his weapon in someone's house, in a crime scene, and then drives off. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm not a cop, but I feel like you can't, as a police officer, fire your weapon and then just leave a crime scene. I feel like that's not
But
okay.
he's gone crazy. It's not like he's in a sane state.
I'm just saying.
something has snapped in Woo's brain at this point.
Wu
I mean,
snapped.
Yeah.
he goes.
Wu snapped.
He goes to the bar, like, just like try to drink away his problems.
He
Then
earned that drink.
he earned that and many more
Yeah.
drinks. But I loved the little flash sequence of like all the Vesson stuff that Wu has dealt with over 4 seasons of television.
Yeah.
And how much it's like none of this adds up. And he's like,
And then an Oshwang attacked him.
Yeah. In his brain.
creepy Aswang in the mirror. And that's how he finds himself in a drunk tank.
Yeah. Which I just want everyone else who had the same thought I did. I was like, he's in the same cell as Octopus Man. He's not. And I was sad.
Oh.
I got like confirmation from the writers it's a different cell. I was like, we're gonna see Brian Letcher. Ah!
He's not in a jail. He's just in a holding cell.
Yeah.
I know, I was just
That's why there were
excited.
other people in there.
I was excited. It was a drunk tank.
Drunk tank.
Yeah. I got told.
You got told.
Yeah.
So that like sort of takes us like towards the end of this episode. Like once Wu like sort of left the scene, we're dealing with like this attempt to save these 2 coyotals,
Yeah.
these 2 guys, and of course, Rosalee only has enough
For one.
for one. And as soon as she says, I'm like, who's gonna get sick next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought for a moment that it might be like Monroe gets bit or something. Because they said it's transmitted through fluids,
Right.
so like a bite theoretically
Right.
Or
would
sneeze.
spread it.
Ew.
I guess a sneeze technically could.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
Or there's another way it could be exchanged.
Whoa.
Yes, that is correct.
Hi.
Like if you got cut and then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
touch the
Oh,
blood.
right. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Paper
That's what I
cuts.
was implying.
I know, I
Yeah,
was with
paper
you.
cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was such a sad ending. I mean, it wrapped up. How did you guys feel at the end of it?
gave it a very Mexican soap opera ending where he was like, mi amor.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh.
Well, she's down with
Don't
the
worry, because
disease.
that guy will come back as a twin. I'm telling you.
Your telenovela skills are amazing.
See?
But at the end of the episode, the guy is basically like he sacrifices himself. Very, very honorable. Like how much? Like it just shows how much of a good guy this guy was.
Oh.
And then this disease not only killed him, but forced him to kill many people, attack his best friend.
Yeah.
It was sad. It was sad times.
Yeah.
It was sad times, but all kinds of crazy, a good frame for all the craziness otherwise going on in this episode. So let's talk about like all the insanity with, I don't know, there's so much to talk about. Where do
Yeah.
we start? Where do we start, you guys?
Let's start in Vienna.
In Vienna.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good place to
Right.
start.
Vienna.
Yeah.
It's a good place. We start our story overseas in the faraway land of Vienna.
Yes.
I love Victor's line. We trust each other, don't we?
Yeah, you're the trustworthy guy, Victor. Yeah.
He's very trustworthy.
Right.
I mean, they're going for the baby at this point. I mean, we didn't really drive too much forward, though.
Well, I think what happened this episode, I mean, no, not in Vienna.
No.
But we did have a returning character.
With Renard.
With Renard, who really basically let us know that everyone seems to know that Kelly has the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
These are smart people. These are all smart people, and they can put two and two together.
Yeah, but like it took them forever to be like, wait, all we have to do is put two and two together, and Kelly has the baby.
Well,
But
they
like,
thought she was dead, so, fair enough.
yeah, but I mean, it just is. It's weird that everyone now, like the idea of sending the baby with Kelly was like this mind-blowing scheme. Like, oh, if Kelly has the baby, no one will ever find it, and then everyone's like, oh, Kelly has it. Yep.
Well, I guess.
Sorry.
No, go Dillon.
I did think it was weird that they were like, yeah, Kelly Burkhart was dead. We found their bodies in an accident. Although they didn't have any heads, so they could never get any dental records. Like, you're trying to kill a Grimm and you find two bodies with heads missing, and you think,
Yeah.
maybe, she's dead. Not that, a Grimm put two bodies in with heads chopped off.
Yeah.
Which
I
would
mean,
make more sense.
Right.
I usually assume that a Grimm is going to chop their people's heads off, and that's
Yeah.
how the end of any story.
Yeah.
But
That really
no.
does. How do we kill it? Chop his head off.
Chop its head off.
Yeah.
I think it's somewhat reasonable to assume that for them to assume that it was Kelly Burkhart, and I think that's why a lot of people didn't put those pieces together for a while because they did seem dead, and there was no reason to go back and question it. Like they found the two bodies, seemed pretty clear cut.
Did they do DNA testing?
I mean, why bother at that
They're not
point?
cops.
Well,
They're not cops.
you want to get something done. You want to make sure someone's dead. You don't just trust a body with a head chopped off.
Noted. Thank you.
Just saying.
Future reference.
She could have pulled a Bane, did like a little blood transfer, chopped the head off, and then they would have never known.
Yeah.
But, that's what I'm saying.
We
Yeah.
need dental records. Find the heads.
I think-
Sorry.
This will be the last time that the royal family doesn't do DNA tests
Yeah.
on
See?
dead
Yeah.
Grimms. I think that's safe to say. But I think it's reasonable that even like the resistance and the royals, like they all didn't think of her because she was on their list of dead people. They assumed she was dead. As soon as they get word that she's not, it's very quick to be like, oh, well, if she's not dead, and Nick's in Portland, and Nick has a close relationship to Adeline and to Catherine Renard,
Right.
they probably gave the baby to her.
Right.
Well, I mean, that was the royals thinking. The resistance, though, when they were like, oh, we were working with Kelly. What? The baby's been taken? You gave it to Victor? Kelly has the baby. Like, we got this. We see what your plan was. Clever. Kelly has the baby. Like, that's how they thought about it. And it's interesting that the first thought when we gave Kelly the baby was, no one's going to figure this out. And then everyone's like, oh, yeah, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's just weird that it happened the way that it did. That said, I love everything about it.
No, it's building. It continues to build this. Like, I can't wait until we find her again.
Yeah.
Because it will happen eventually. Either we'll find her or she's going to be like, there are all kinds of people trailing me. Like,
Right.
the royals are getting close. The resistance is closer. Renard's mom is like a day behind me.
Right.
I got to get, like, somebody, I need a hand.
And she's going to be there with a baby who is like 7 or 17. You know, just not a baby.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet. Let's each give it a call here.
Yeah.
Let's give it a definite age. I'm gonna say a 10-year-old child, the equivalent of a 10-year-old.
I see. Dylan?
No, you go. You go.
I'm going to go with 17.
Jeez.
Because I think a teenager is much more interesting than a child.
We already had a teenager.
Interesting. Touche. I still think a teenager, 60, like, I'm going to say between 14 and 17. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to go with that where. I think maybe it'll still be a baby.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we got
Interesting.
okay. Now we got a good range.
Yeah.
I'm saying like a young child, 8 to 10. Yale's saying 14 to 17,
Yeah.
teenager. Dylan says they're not
Still a
going some
baby.
crazy agent route.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're just going to stick with a baby.
All right.
Oh, I'm basing it on the fact that she gave birth at 6 months.
That's true.
Right.
That we're
And it
bumping
looked
up schedule.
Like a perfectly fine baby.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You
So
can't change
maybe
your
it
thing. Nope.
ages on. Okay, then 4 or 5 tops.
All right.
I'm saying baby to 5.
Okay.
Baby to 5.
That little range.
Baby is not a number, Dillon.
Yeah, it is. Baby to 5. Baby to 5. I
Your
got you.
calculator might have a baby button on it, but mine lacks that feature. But yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah.
60 months.
And before we get into all the insanity of about Monroe and Rosalee's futile attempts at going on their honeymoon, Nick and Juliet,
we'll get there.
We're gonna get into it.
Yeah.
First, we're gonna take a break,
Yay.
real quick,
All right.
and talk to you guys about iTunes and give some shout outs because you guys sent in some awesome reviews.
Yay.
Guys,
Yeah.
we say it every week. It means the world to us that you listen to this podcast, that you listen to us just talk about this show that we are such huge fans of, that you guys are such huge fans of. And I bet you're asking, how can you help out? Because you've never heard before. You've just tuned out, I guess. I don't know. You've never heard how before. But you can go onto iTunes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching some other way, or if you are listening to it on iTunes and you just haven't,
that'd be amazing.
I mean, we do go off on the Crystal Ball Network.
Yes.
Our viewership is pretty good on there.
I just wanted to make sure that people understood what we were talking about.
But if you do listen on iTunes, maybe you just haven't had a chance or you haven't wanted to. It takes less than a minute. Just go on there, onto iTunes, hit the subscribe button. That gives us a boost. Giving us a rating and a review also gives us a really big boost and takes almost no time. And you get a shout out on the show. And I want to give 3 people shout outs. We got 3 new reviews. Damn. We're up to I believe 57 ratings right now. 57 ratings.
That's pretty good.
I want to be, and my goal
100.
is I want to be at 100 by the end of the season.
We can do that.
Super doable,
Come on,
you
guys.
guys.
Oh, yeah.
Super doable.
We're on episode 8, and there's going to be like 22 or something.
I would love, by the time we get back from break, to be at a clean 70.
Ooh.
Wow.
There's a strong challenge to you listeners out there. But it would seriously, I would love to see that. Wouldn't we love to see that?
Yeah, we would.
You'll all get shout outs. So we'll have
to
to put aside like half the show just to do shout outs.
I would love to have to do that. I want to give a shout out to Amanda Navarro, who says, love it! 3 exclamation points.
Aww.
5 stars. Love this podcast. I am so glad I'm not the only one who cannot pronounce the vested names. You guys are great. I love all the puns and banter. It feels like we are all hanging out in the living room after the show as friends talking about what we just watched. Would love some more guests like Bitsy and David. We would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would.
The other thing, guys, is that your reviews absolutely do not take any doubt. Your reviews help us get guests like we had Bree Turnaround earlier this week, like we had Claire Coffey, like we had Brian Letcher.
Yeah, we had Brian Letcher.
Oh my god.
Your reviews are directly helping us to book more guests, and we are working on more. And we can't announce anything yet, but there's stuff in the works, and your reviews are going to help cement those guests.
There's stuff in the works.
Well, we can't confirm anything yet.
Tell me off here.
We can if we get more reviews from you guys.
I can confirm that if we get more reviews, we will have guests.
Yes.
That is a confirmation.
Tag 2010 says, "Are you reading my mind?" 5 stars.
Yes.
I love the show. My wife and I talk about Grimm the same way y'all do.
Y'all.
It's Yelp.
No, it's y'all.
That's y'all.
I just want to let you guys know.
Did you implant a brain reading chip while I was asleep? Keep it up. And then in
sounds
capital letters, keep trouble.
This sounds like one of our reviews off the Crystal Ball Network.
Yeah. Yes.
And by the way, speaking of trouble, you guys, you can go. We did get confirmation from the writers of the official trouble hashtag that we can use to basically voice our "we want trouble back." The writers did make a very good point. They took some time aside and they were like, guys, all right, state of the Grimm Union. Their trouble is not gone. Jacqueline Tabani is not fired.
Yeah.
It was a logical story point for her to move away for a little while. It sounds like they didn't say it, but it sounds like they're basically saying she is coming back.
Yeah, they said NBC even came back to them and said, okay, when can she come back with a good story?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, don't just bring her back to bring her back, but bring her back when it works.
Her arc at this point was it hit the right point for her to leave Portland. So now she's going to go off for a while. She's going to have her little adventures, and I'm hoping before the end of the season. But even if it's just like at the finale or at the top of next season, it'll be great when she does, and it'll be motivated by a story reason. It won't be forced.
Right.
You don't want the network or the studio or the fans forcing something on the writers if they're not ready for it.
And they also said, you know, they want to bring her back, but keep in mind, we just watched episode 8. They're already like finishing episode 16.
Yeah, they might have already written her into episodes. We don't know.
Yeah, you know.
Well,
we have to wait.
If you want to help, the official Twitter is #AskingForTrouble.
#Trouble in Paradise.
We are all
Also a good one, but the official Twitter actually is #AskingForTrouble.
we are all asking for trouble.
Aren't we?
I like that.
No, we really are. Like,
Did you
see my tweet?
No, but I didn't come up with that. The writers did. That's why it's clever.
Well, okay. But we had Trouble in Paradise.
but-
I also, Big Trouble, Little Portland.
Big Trouble in Little Portland. Prodigal 358 says, fantastic podcast, 5 stars. I have loved the show since the pilot. Since then, I have turned my wife onto the show and several friends. Your podcast is great, and I love everyone's different opinions and all your crazy theories, which end up coming true. That they do. Haha. And then it just says, haha. Can't wait for each new episode.
Aww.
Thank you for listening, Prodigal.
There's only a few theories that we had that didn't come true, like
A lot of ideas.
turtle vessels and
Not
Jafar.
yet.
not yet. Oh, the Jafar.
The Jafar
Look,
thing. I
we
was
take
really
a lot of
disappointed.
crazy swings on this show,
Yeah.
but they're totally worth it for the times they pay
I hope
off.
by
Yeah.
Easter we have an Easter bunny vesson.
Oh my god, an Easter bunny vest would be awesome.
If we're gonna have an Easter bunny pheasant, there better be another Jewish pheasant.
There aren't any myths left.
Whatever, there better be something.
We only have the one myth.
I could think of a few. I'm offended. Sorry, let me just sit over here and be offended, guys.
Easter
All right.
bunny vesson.
While you're being offended, we're going to talk about Monroe and Rosalee's honeymoon.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that.
I need my camera. Where's my Lycon 1935? Roll it. I can't even remember what exactly
Yeah.
he said, but it was. I love those moments where Monroe gets really excited about old stuff. It's because it reminds me of like me and any girl I've dated when I talk about comic books. And I just sound like a crazy person, but it all makes sense.
Yeah, it does make
Yeah.
sense. I know what you're saying.
But I, like at the top of this episode, are you guys thinking like, are they ever gonna get on their honeymoon?
Oh, yeah, as soon as they're like, we're ready to go, let's pack for it. I was like, that's not gonna, no. Do you know what happens in this show? You're never gonna get
They
there.
keep
You're not
yelling,
ready.
"Don't jinx it!
Yeah.
Stop talking about it."
You've already jinxed it, you're going.
Yeah, you bought the ticket.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like if it's not a season finale, it's not likely they're going. And I
Yeah.
don't count mid-season as a season finale.
No, because when they come back, not that much time will have passed.
Right.
No, it would have been too happy of a place to like let them go away for like a month.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
That said, guys, no one uses phones anymore to make phone calls. So, Rosalee, when your phone rings, you know it's not going to be good news. No one uses the phone.
I actually yelled at the TV
Yeah.
when she's about to leave.
Yeah.
And she's like, the phone rings. I'm like, don't answer it. You
Yeah.
closed the shop.
That's not what phones are for anymore. Don't answer it.
Phones are for emergencies only.
But I would also love to see if she didn't answer it and she just goes out through the front door and just like doesn't see the
dead fox
dead
in the
fox back there, which was horrifying. But
Yeah,
like,
that's messed
I would
up.
love to see like the comedy version of this bad guy. Like, God, she didn't answer and she
Right.
left through the front. Jim, I told you.
We didn't plan for that.
It's a
Yeah.
really racist Three Stooges.
Yes.
It's like the guys in Django. Remember, where they're all idiots.
I mean, effectively, that's what it would be. But
Yeah.
she did answer the phone, and so she got the really creepy guy on the other end of the line. Your marriage is an abomination.
Yeah.
We killed a fox.
Wait, this is the second animal they killed this episode. And I was like, no, the fox, no, the puppy.
It's like the puppy.
Yeah.
The cute golden puppy.
Yeah. Fans were tweeting angrily at the writers about the puppy.
I mean, it made it real. It made it dangerous.
Yeah.
That was the thing. It
But
was
that's
good.
what chupacabras do.
Yeah. Kill your puppy.
Yeah.
Chupacabra!
And we kill a fox, and I thought just something quick to note. I thought it was very an interesting choice. Not just obviously Rosalee is. It's reasonable for her to be scared when there's a dead anything,
Right.
but like for that reason.
But a fox.
But a fox. I thought it was the strength of that reaction.
Yeah.
Was great because I guess I've never really thought about like how much of Vesson would be connected to the animal that they are
represent or
yeah,
whatever.
that they're similar to.
That's
like
true.
a Fuchsbau and a fox are sort of cousins. I don't know if like Fuchsbau would be protective of foxes specifically, or like
It's like the roaches and like the big roach monster in Men in Black. when he's crunching the little roaches and he's like, "Arr," and he gets angry.
That's a great analogy.
Well, that is actually
really. I was like, "What? Oh yeah, no, you're right."
Yeah,
He was-
remember he's getting mad every time he crunches the roaches.
That's your aunt, and that's your mama. Like, yeah.
was that your Uncle Jeffrey?
God,
Just
Men
like
in
that.
Black.
See?
Good movie.
Great movie, but that's not here nor there.
Sorry, got way distracted.
But then it'll be your blood next.
Right.
Obviously, an incredibly scary thought. Monroe is ready to fly off the handle.
I was actually hoping for that. Like I was hoping he would like do his wolf thing, get his scent going, and just chase him down and murder them. How cool would it be to see Monroe like fly off the hinges?
Oh, it'd be great to see it again. We haven't seen it in
Yeah.
a while, and I think we're going to soon.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get into predictions, so we're not going to talk about
Okay.
the next until we cross that predictions firewall.
Yes.
But the end of their story in this episode, wholly frightening. Like we know that they're getting ready to go on their
Holy frightening. Yes. Sorry.
holy frightening Batman. We know they're getting ready to go on their honeymoon. They're like almost out the door. They put a police detail on them. And then they're too nice. They're too nice. Also, we find out how deep this crazy hate group has infiltrated into
Oh yeah.
the world around them. They have members on the police force that I guess Nick wasn't aware were even Vesson. This guy, whichever police officer it was, because when Monroe brings out that, he's like, "My wife made you a sandwich," like the nicest thing in the world, and then you beat him and kidnap him.
So scary.
Yeah, he's gonna wake up and go nuts.
And what a way to leave it, though.
I know.
Yeah.
To leave us for the winter break. Do you guys know when we're coming back? I actually
yeah, I
don't
didn't look
know.
that
It's
return date.
January, the first Friday or second.
So the
Friday?
the second is the Friday.
Oh, so then the week after that. Sorry.
So it'd be the 7th, the
Yes.
9th then.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. That.
Okay. Well, we'll be back whenever there's a new episode.
Yeah.
You'll be able to tune in on Sundays. But before that,
That's good. I thought it was gonna
we
be on
still
longer.
have lots to talk about
Yeah.
this episode.
I was like, we're not done.
No. No,
Yeah.
we're not. You might have thought you were done when Monroe gets kidnapped, but no.
Yeah.
That is just
Juliet and Nick are. Well, let's start at the top because I just like that moment at the top of their story.
With the Chinese food.
They had the Chinese food, and we got the house to ourselves.
No,
Finally,
it was too empty.
empty
Yeah.
nest
Empty nest
syndrome.
syndrome.
But forget the Chinese food. Boom, sex.
Yeah. Why are you guys looking at me? I wasn't involved.
I expected you to have commentary.
No.
No.
I was busy missing trouble.
Oh.
Because-
Your lack of trouble made you overlook the instant sex.
Well, because I mean, if trouble were there, they could still have. No, too far. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
God, yo, it's weird. She crosses the line every time. There's the line. She steps over.
You guys said, "Hey, Yael, we're taking you to the line. Cross it." That's what just happened.
So we just got confirmation that Grimm returns on January 9th.
Is that not what I said?
Good job.
We're
You're welcome.
confirming it.
I could have
because We're not in
confirmed.
front of a computer.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anywho.
but
Boom sex,
much
yes.
like that, we got that confirmed. Juliet got a confirmation that she's not pregnant, or at least a triple. You could call it a triple confirmation. She took 3 pregnancy tests.
Right. You're supposed to take more than one.
But you're dealing with magic stuff, so I think Rosalee's like, yeah, but you don't know what that all.
It's magic. You never
She-
know.
I don't think she's preggo.
No, I don't think she is now.
No, it doesn't seem like it at the end.
Yeah.
Because like at that point, I'm like, oh no, it's just gonna be a magic thing, so it's gonna turn out she is pregnant. Blah, blah, blah. Until the very last moment of Juliet. Was that the last? See, it was such a crazy moment.
I
that,
think
like,
it was.
It's the last thing you
Yeah,
see.
it was the last thing we saw before we go out for the winter finale. Juliet Vogt into a Hexenbeast, you guys.
I'm so excited.
I like her. She was way ugly too. She was disgusting. She
Yeah.
was worse than Adeline.
Yeah, no, she was really gross.
Oh, she was nasty.
I mean, I think it's the same as Adeline. It's
No,
just that
no,
she's-
no. It was worse.
It was, you know what's weird is when Adeline Vogues, it's kind of gray.
Yeah.
But when Juliet did, it was brown.
It was like zombie,
yeah.
like witch. It was weird. Like she said, Adam's is kind of like weird gray witch. Hers was like this brown green like undead witch, and it was just real creepy.
So, like,
Well, maybe it's
Adeline
because
looks-
she's a brunette and Adeline's a blonde.
Maybe.
This is the
'Cause
first brunette Hexenbeast we've seen.
that's true. But like Adeline's, it's like dusty.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, and this one's more like
She's
like
young.
old dirt.
Yeah.
Well, she's young. She's not.
Old dirt.
She's young. She's effectively like a
A young
brand new
Yeah.
Hexen baby in a full-grown woman's body.
No.
And her
Holy-
eyes looked different.
Holy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Holy Grim.
Holy Grim, you guys. But
And I like how she screamed, too.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was
there's
like-
so many implications that come off of this.
Yeah.
Is that it like so are we gonna say it seems like she's just gonna be is she gonna be a full-on Hexen Beast from here on out? Or
I don't know.
is Juliet just gonna be on the Scooby Gang as a Hexen Beast?
That'd
Oh
be
my
cool.
God, that'd be so great.
Like that brings that what I love about that possibility is that
Mm-hmm.
it shifts the dynamics of the group in a big way.
Yeah.
Because Juliet's no longer on the fringe of it.
Right.
It brings her directly into everything.
But she doesn't know how to do anything.
But she doesn't know how to do anything. And you know what else it implies, though? And I wonder if this is where you're going, Yael.
Maybe.
Because now, whenever she looks at Nick, she's going to see
Oh,
dark,
she's gonna see
bottomless
those-
pits in his eyes. Or at
That's
least when
not
she
where I was
vogues.
going, but
And
yeah.
at first, she's not going to be able to control it. So she's going to look at the man that she loves, and she's going to see nothing but dark, bottomless nothingness in his
She's
eyes.
gonna-
so sad.
He's gonna look like a monster to her, like an evil, like.
Yeah, but just
So
think. But I'm
sad.
sorry. The eyes is one thing, but look at what Nick
Yeah, no,
has
he
to
has
see.
to look at her, and that's gonna be really scary. I don't think she's gonna. And what if she can't control it, and she's
Yeah.
just like
She won't be
Vogue?
able to
Yeah.
at first, I imagine.
Where I was going was that her and Adeline's gonna have to train her and teach her.
Oh boy.
They're gonna have to become a team. Yeah.
Adeline, I was. Oh, man, can
gonna
we
have
get
to-
Mama Hexenbeast back?
No, she's busy looking for Kelly. Yeah, guys. Yeah.
Well, they're gonna have to try and contact her because she's the one that made the potion and spells and stuff for her. So maybe they will get in touch with her, and she'll come back.
And then she'll train her because that would be cool.
But why would Adeline like? I'm not picturing the scenario in which Adeline wants to train her or is willing. To...
I'm imagining Adeline having to come back and I don't want to get into predictions.
Okay, well let's
Before we get to
let's
predictions.
jump into predictions
Jump
officially.
into
Before we get in there,
Wait. So hold on.
before we hit that, I
Hold
want to
the
let people
predictions.
know.
Yael has something.
Yes. So because as we saw with the Renard scene with Tavishan, who is back, the guy who was talking to Renard, who's from the Resistance, I want to let people know that the writer of this episode, Brenna Kauf, who is at Brenna, her Twitter name is at BREENALKS. She said that he is back because the fans had tweeted hashtag bring back Tavishan. I don't know how to say his name. Sorry, guys. But that is a confirmation that we need to be tweeting at her and at the Grim Writers hashtag asking for trouble, as well as
Oh boy.
hashtag we
we
want
go.
Meisner.
Yes. That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, we knew you were going there.
I
Yael.
just needed it confirmed. It was confirmed by the
No, wait,
writers.
wait.
And
Tweet
again,
it.
and again, it's
Hashtag-
just the writers care about the fans. They care what the fans
What?
want, and Yael
I got a
wants
hashtag for you.
Meisner.
Hashtag missing Meisner.
Yes, hashtag missing Meisner.
All right, so from now on, if you want to see more Meisner,
And asking for trouble.
it's asking for trouble if you want to see more trouble, and missing Meisner if you want to see more of Meisner.
Guys, you want more Meisner. I'm telling you.
I'm just
this.
gonna hashtag Yael and Meisner sitting in a tree.
Ah, there it is.
And with that, Nando, let's go into official predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV.
Are you purring?
All right.
I love it. I love it so much.
Apparently, we got a Vesson right here at the table. Guys,
Do cat Vesson purr?
Oh my god, I want to find out.
I don't
If
know.
you were to like pet a cat
don't-
I
Vesson?
want to find out.
I don't know, but we've got so much to.
I'm predicting
we're
they
running.
do.
We're
Yeah.
low on time.
Okay.
All right.
And whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Can I explain my my
Yes.
Okay. So, Victor and Adeline come back to Portland. Victor goes off to find the baby. Adeline is forced to stay with Nick and them and is forced to pretend to be nice, and then teaches and helps Juliet to try to get information about where Kelly might be. That is why I see Adeline training Juliet.
But they don't like her.
Whatever, she's a hexen beast and they need someone to train her.
I feel like I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't trust her to teach her.
Fine. May
I
go
feel
on to
like
other predictions?
Rosalee is gonna wind up having to train her out of books.
Okay. I
Oh,
can
well,
see
they do
that.
have the access to Adeline's
Adeline stuff.
like garage full
Yeah.
of crap. So.
Yeah.
That's true. Other predictions?
Well, in the preview, we saw Monroe kidnapped. Like they basically just want to kill him.
Right.
They had like straight up like unabashed like Nazi stuff, like just the straight up red curtains
Yeah.
of the Nazis with the Wolfsangel in the middle.
Yeah. In case you didn't get the reference, guys.
Yeah.
They're kind of Nazis.
Just in case you didn't think it looked a little bit like a swastika,
Right.
that they were burning it like a cross.
They just wanted to make sure you got it.
Yeah. This is a hate group.
Yeah.
They're like Vesson Nazis, although Hitler was a Vesson.
Right.
Yep.
So it's weird.
And he probably would have been against this marriage.
He probably would have.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course he would have.
I didn't mean for that to be a huge point.
No. It looks like Nick has to turn in his badge to help Monroe.
Oh
Not gonna
yeah,
be a cop.
it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about the part, but yeah, Nick
Yeah.
is whatever
I'm going
whatever
on
he has to
vacation.
do to
Yeah.
save Monroe. Is going to be outside of the police law. I don't understand how that could be possible. You have evidence that your friend has been kidnapped, unless he can't present the evidence because it's Grimm Vesson stuff.
I like
I
his
mean, it's
idea,
maybe
though.
that he doesn't want to, like, arrest them. He wants to
He wants to kill him.
behead them.
Yes. It's about to get grim time.
Yeah.
I'm
Time for a
excited.
trip to the trailer and the Closet of Wonders.
yeah.
Did you guys notice in the promo who was in the trailer? Wu was in the trailer.
I totally
didn't
missed
see
that.
it. Oh my god.
Wu was sitting in the trailer with Nick and Hank.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys.
I'm really excited about that.
I
They're
just had
gonna-
a really crazy idea
Yeah.
in my head just now. I want to see
Say
a Japanese Grimm that goes around chopping people's head off with a katana. And it would be awesome.
That also purrs.
Can we give Wu a katana?
Yes!
Not just because he's Asian. I just think it would be cool.
Yeah, I was like, I believe he's Filipino.
I didn't say he was
So?
Japanese. I just want to give him a sword.
More importantly, does he purr? You've
Wu?
got me way on this purring
the
thing.
purring cat Vesson. I
Yeah.
wonder. We should tweet at the writers.
Yeah.
Tweet at the writers, guys.
Which Vesson purr?
Do Vesson purr.
I want to know which ones.
Hashtag purring Vesson.
I don't even know
Yeah.
what to say here, except
Predictions?
except
Okay,
that
go
I
ahead.
think that I guess I'm not, you know, I'm not even sure what to predict this point. I predicted a bunch of stuff in the
Right.
podcast already, so I think I've believe it or not, I think I've spent myself on predictions.
I do know there's a unicorn Vesson coming. Do you remember that?
No.
They tweeted a picture of a unicorn Vesson. Like they were like season 4 like teaser, and it was
It
like a
sounds
picture of a
familiar.
unicorn. And me and you went crazy. We were like retweeting it and going nuts. 'cause
That sounds like me.
That sounds fun.
I think
I can't
Go
wait to
look it
see
up.
that. I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode, in the next half of the season.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much on this show. I'm so excited.
Give it to us now.
And we have to wait a few weeks before we get
Till
it back.
January 9th.
But that's not bad. A lot of shows have like 8-week hiatuses
I
around
thought it was
the
going to be longer. I
holidays.
thought it wasn't coming back till February.
Yeah, but no, only a few weeks, guys. Only a few weeks. We will be back
In
on
2015.
January the 11th.
Yep.
With the review. No, the show is back on the 9th.
Oh.
We'll be back on the 11th.
Yeah, we know dates.
But for all your Grimm needs, we are here at AFTERBUZZ TV.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Tweet us.
Over here, Yael Tygiel, why don't you tell people where they can keep up with you over the hiatus.
You can keep up with me and my shenanigans at Yael.tv. That's YAEL.tv. Also on Twitter at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. There, you should be sure you're following because I'm doing a Doctor Who swag giveaway that ends Christmas. So follow me and hashtag asking for trouble and hashtag missing Meisner.
I'm gonna pistol whip the next person that says shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
I'm Dillon Chance, you guys, and I'll see you next year. You can find me on Twitter at Dillon Chance.
All right, guys. You can follow me on Twitter at Zach Wilson, ThatzachWilson, and also here at AfterBuzz on a ton of shows. Ascension this week, the new sci-fi show we're gonna be doing. It's a 3-day event. We're gonna be doing recaps all week. And also Agent Carter when it comes back, Helix, Better Call Saul in February. Guys, I'm Zach Wilson, and thanks for geeking out with us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.